Patty's Day, what a great combination to create your new lucky
and charming
space.
And as you're spring cleaning, accentuate your home with new floors for a vibrant new feel from Lifetime Flooring.
Or even upgrade your patio or garage floor with Lifetime floor coating.
Come experience the Lifetime difference. Call or visit one of our showrooms today for our St. Patty's Day specials throughout March.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Tonight, the Gators begin their hunt to repeat as national champions as their March Madness gets underway when they take on Prairie View A&M for a 9:25 tip-off airing on 1010 a.m. and live on the 1010XL app. The Gators are led by third-team AP All-American Thomas Houcken, AP All-American Honorable Mention Ruben Chinulu. It's 61 degrees at 6 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It is day 2 of the NCAA tournament. Let's go from 48 to 32. As a matter of fact, 6 finals in. So let's go from 42 to 32. Then we'll set up the weekend. And next time we talk on Monday, we'll dive into the Sweet 16. Unlike a day ago, chalk is the story on Friday, but what an amazing come-from-behind victory. Actually, they blew the lead to Kentucky, but the buzzer beater to force overtime, and then the Wildcats to advance. I mean, you just look around, you look at what UNC did last night, blowing a 19-point lead. How in the heck did that happen? Hubert Davis right now, they're calling for him down around Tobacco Road. He wins 20-plus games every year, but he has first-round exits, and he just doesn't feel like he's the guy right now for the Tar Heels. All right, what a pleasure it is to have you with us. What an outstanding day. The only thing I'm jealous of is this. We're at Dawg Tavern, and I look to my left. My head's on a swivel. I'm like a defensive back, okay? I look to my left, and I see fine individuals draining bottled beer. I look to my right, I see individuals enjoying $10 of a pitcher of beer, only $10, okay? This is a gathering place. It really is. It's right next door to Publix. It's not too far away from where I live. Always have really enjoyed Dawg. It's brand new, or now it's been around for a little bit, but it's new. It still looks new, very clean, okay? Great place for kids. No doubt about it. And if you're still grinding, which I got to think most of you are not, we know that today and yesterday are the two biggest days, along with the Monday after the Super Bowl, where folks play hooky, folks call in sick. Why not take your boss here to Dawg? Why not show him that you're a valuable asset who can also reach deep into the pocket? And I tell you what, you're not going to spend a lot of money here at Dawg because the prices are absolutely phenomenal. How does dollar wings sound? Okay. How about $6 cut waters? How about a bucket of cut waters? Only $20. And again, $10 domestic draft beer pitchers, incredible menu. Okay. And kids, grandparents, doesn't matter who you are, this is tailor-made for anyone and everyone. We'd love to see it. This is right out here in Bartram, and you can't miss it. It's right next door to Publix. Okay, it's good to have you with us. My name is Rick Ballou, with you tonight till 8. Hacker Nation will join you until 10 o'clock, and yeah, I still can't get over North Carolina blowing that lead last night. That is one of the dramatic collapses that I can think of recently in the history of college basketball. And it was a pretty bizarre day. I mean, if you look at Siena, they almost knocked off Duke, right? 158-2 lifetime are the number 1 seeds against the number 16 seeds. The only 2 teams to lose who were number 1 was Virginia, who had a scare today as well, and that's not good for me. Both my teams had scares. I have Duke over Virginia actually playing for the national championship. Why? Well, I'm an ACC guy, right? You cut me up, I'm going to spill Atlantic Coast Conference. I can take you back to the days when Maryland was in the ACC. I got a long history to that outstanding conference, led by maybe the greatest commissioner in all of sports when it comes to Jim Phillips, except for the fact when he was asked the most obvious question of all time in his initial meeting that was post-COVID. Hey, Jim, what are you going to do if something else returns, COVID-like? Are you going to suspend the season? Are you going to cancel the games? It came a day after Greg Sankey in the SEC laid out the perfect plan. Jim Phillips was clueless. Absolutely had no idea how to answer the question. I mean, the most important question of all. But anyway, that's the ACC, Virginia and Duke. Of course, the other number 1 seed that did lose was Purdue. But, yeah, we saw that yesterday. Then we saw High Point and what they were able to do. They played a 5-man actually, that was Siena who played 5 men and 5 men only. And, you know, Duke's only got a 7-man rotation right now. Duke only got 3 points off the bench. That's scary. They got to be able to get a couple of their players back, and, you know, certainly that includes the big man, Pat Gonba II. I really don't care, I guess, at this point, if Duke wins or loses. I mean, I picked them to win the national championship, but it just feels like my bracket is destroyed. You know, after a 11-5 Thursday, right now I'm off to a decent start. I'm 6-0 so far on this Friday, but, you know, we'll see what else does change here coming up as we have 2 games ongoing and then 8 more that are getting ready to tip off. So we invite you to come on by here and join us at Top Dawg Tavern. Okay, as we do all the time, we want to keep you updated on everything that is happening during the NCAA tournament, and you know, it's constant, and you know, you look at these updates and they change, you know, every minute, as we're well aware of. And we've got a barn burner right now. Utah State, even though they're a 9 seed, okay, they are taking on Villanova, who's an 8 seed. Utah State was actually favored in this game by 1.5, and I took Utah State, so we'll see what happens. That would be to go to 7-0 on the day for me. But, you know, I think we're so prone, and especially nowadays, it just feels like, you know, and again, I'm not ripping the product. I just don't think that for the casual fan, your relationship with teams is not where it once was. I think the NIL, I think the transfer portal has really hurt a short roster in the sport of college basketball. Unlike, you know, you can say what you want about college football, and it's changed, no doubt about it. But, you know, you got an 85-man roster, and only the best of the best knew everyone who was on that team, right? And certainly I did. I used to know all 3. I used to know who was on Florida. I used to know who was on Miami as well. But that has changed. It's more difficult with, you know, what do they have, 13, 14 scholarships in college basketball and then some walk-ons. I just don't know if today you can identify with the players the way that you once did. And that's sad. You know, I mean, I think I talked about it with John Osher on Wednesday. You know, when I cut my teeth in this business in the early 90s in Tallahassee, bro, I watched Bobby Hurley and Grant Hill and Thomas Hill and Christian Layton every single year come into Florida State. And they did it up until the time that they were seniors. Tim Duncan, a senior. Joe Smith, first pick in the draft, a senior out of Maryland. All right, Jerry Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace with Dean Smith coming in. When those 2 guys left, they brought in Vince Carter from Daytona Beach. They brought in Antoine Jameson, Ray Allen in UConn came in. I remember Never Nervous Purvis Ellison right before they joined the ACC and when they were in the Metro Conference. I mean, it's just changed. I went on vacation in Arizona. And this is a true story. I talked about it when I got back. Arizona was number 1 in America. Okay, they were undefeated. They were like 22-0, whatever it was when I went on vacay. And, my GF went to Texas Tech for 2 years. She graduated from Oklahoma. So there's a ton of Texas Tech stuff going on. So we're bar hopping. She doesn't drink. She drives. We go from bar to bar to bar. We go to this great beer garden bar in Arizona. And I'm guessing there's probably 500 people there. There are TVs all over the place. They don't even have Arizona basketball on. And then the number 1 ranked team in America. And you can't sit there and tell me that everyone inside that place was a tourist like we were. Okay, we went there to watch Texas Tech. Tech won that game. But again, just the overall popularity of this game, I think, is diminished just a little bit. My intent is certainly not to bite the hand that feeds you. Okay, I'm going to promote the living snot out of this. I just really do feel bad for fans, because I think the great part of being a fan is you're always going to love the team. But being able to also, if you're young, have these players as your idols, okay? If you're a little bit older, to recognize their growth, their maturity from the time they're a freshman, sophomore, junior, the whole way up. And it's just tough nowadays. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. I just wanted to mention that. And, there you have it. All right, let's get back to what's going on right now. 2 games actually underway on this Friday. Villanova up 73-71. But that's where I started with this. I think most just take the blue blood. Villanova's won a national championship recently, right? You got old school folks who go back to the night that Villanova shot, 84% from the field with Dwayne McClain and who was it? Dwayne McClain and, who was the big guy in the middle? Eddie Pinkney was on that team. I think Pannone was on that team. Anyway, that was back in 1984. They knocked off Georgetown. But I think that that's easy to do. You just look at the blue blood and say, that's it. I'm taking that team. And a lot of people took Utah State, including myself. Right now, Villanova up 73-71, 3:55 to go in the second half. Tennessee having no problem with Miami of Ohio. The Vols up right now in the Midwest region, 64-45 with 9:21 to go in the second half. All right, coming up in 40 minutes. What a sensational basketball game this should be. Number 9, Iowa. Number 8, Clemson. South region. And that gets underway again beginning at 6:50. Iowa is a small favorite, 1.5, even though they're a 9 seed. And Clemson is an 8 seed. Also coming up, which we will be here at Top Dawg Tavern for, Northern Iowa against St. John's. Remember earlier this year, Rick Pitino suffered the biggest loss he had ever had at St. John's. And, they've had a decent year, 28 wins. We'll see. They're a 10-point favorite against Northern Iowa. I don't know anything about Northern Iowa. I'm not going to lie to you and try to pretend. UCLA, UCF. I struggled over this game. I almost picked Central Florida. When push came to shove, and hearing that maybe it was because I knew that, a little bit later on today, the Jaguars were going to sign to an offer sheet Jake Bobo, who is from Andover, Massachusetts, went to Duke, and then a totally different world, transferred to UCLA. By the way, Seattle has 5 days to match that offer. If not, he comes here and will join the Jaguars, maybe as their 5th wide receiver. We will see. I still believe there's going to be a lot of competition for that particular job. But UCLF, the Bruins favored by 5.5. That's out east. Also, the final game in the 7 o'clock hour, number 2 Purdue against Queens University. That is coming up at 7:35. Top Dawg Tavern. We invite you to come on by. This place is packed, but there's room for you. They got high tops. They got a sensational indoor-outdoor bar. They got a beer garden. They got booths. Plenty of room for you and your family. And again, we invite you to come on by. We're going to be here until 10 o'clock with everything that is going on during day 2 of the NCAA tournament. All right, opening comments tonight and every night are brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. You know, there's a lot of, let's call it inaccurate information, maybe even some tomfoolery involved when it comes to cataract, okay? It's a word that petrifies many. And just ask yourself, when you're driving at night, do you have issues with lights? Okay, whether it's car lights coming towards you, whether it's stoplights, whatever it may be. First off, at Shmunez Vision, there could be a simple remedy for that, and surgery may not be needed. But here's what I'll tell you. They're experts in this field, and they have all the new, the latest equipment and technology. You may not need that. What happens at a lot of places is that they'll bring you onto these machines anyway. Why? Well, they can raise your bill. That's not what they do at Shmunez. They're looking out to give you the best possible value. And again, 37 years worth of experience if surgery is necessary. Folks, don't put this off. Don't delay. Absolutely. Get on it. Protect your eyes. Shmunez Vision, Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt. The same folks who will give you the examination, will answer all your questions, and provide surgery if needed. Check them out online at Shmunez Vision. Also go to Instagram and grab the testimonials at Shmunez Vision. All right, we're just underway. I mean, I don't know. Can this possibly be as exciting as it was on Thursday? I tend to believe it can. Utah State Villanova jumping right into the middle of the fray as far as that is concerned. All right, we've got plenty to do. We are live from Top Dawg Tavern, right next to Publix, right here off of Old St. Augustine Road in Bartram, with you tonight till 10 o'clock.
It's Cliff Averill one more time.
I'm Cliff Averill of the Seattle Seahawks and Clay High School on Jacksonville Sports Radio, 1010XL.
Cliff Averill has been a machine tonight. Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer. Nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Thicket here, for nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools have been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools, summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
Big personalities, bold opinions. Lunch just got louder. Josie, Matt, and Leon are XL Prime Time from the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Any questions? Yeah, when's lunch?
Noon to 2 on 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
This is Dr. Hiram Carrasquillo, orthopedic surgeon, fellowship training foot and ankle conditions from the orthopedic specialist of Jacksonville. Achilles tendon injuries are common in athletes, but most can be prevented. Warm up properly, stretch your calves, build strength gradually, and wear supportive shoes. Listen to your body. Don't push through pain. Protect your Achilles so you can stay in the game. For more tips, visit osjax.com.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville. Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010XL. Pitched by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Homeowners, you taking a look at your lawn yet? Let me guess, you're looking at your lawn wondering what to do after a historically cold season. Well, if you want your lawn to bounce back quick, you gotta call topdressing.com. Nobody else can do what they do. Their proprietary process. I've never seen anything like it, and neither will your neighbors. They will have your lawn looking like a golf course. Nobody else can do it. They're no secret now, so get ahead of it. Call for a free estimate. Be the envy of your neighbors. Top dress your lawn like the pros with topdressing.com.
Sports fans, ET here, and when I need to send a floral arrangement, there's only one thought, and that's Kuhn Flowers. A simple phone call or an online order. It's always easy with Kuhn. There's a reason Kuhn Flowers been doing it for over 75 years. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Right now, we're into the NCAA tournament. Day 2, and it's great to have you with us. This just rolled in. DJ Chark announces his retirement. Probably go down as one of my all-time favorite Jags to cover. He was an interesting guy, mild-mannered, almost unassuming, but very polite, very likable. Had a couple of nice years here, then it just kind of went away. And, you look at where Jacksonville is now as far as their wide receivers, as far as their offense. And, I think you look at it like, well, they missed DJ Chark. No, I think they have a much better selection of weapons right now at wide receiver. But 7 years in the league and one of the really good guys. That comes in today, after the announcement that the Jaguars have signed to an offer sheet Jake Bobo. We'll get to know him coming up in just a couple of minutes. But I do want to let you know we're at Top Dawg Tavern, and we invite you to come by. Boy, the food looks just out of this world. And I'm here with RJ Saunders. RJ, I had to make a dramatic move today. Yesterday, we were over at Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra, where you and I used to do a show out there for a couple of years.
Yeah, every Thursday.
I'm a dead giveaway when it comes to food. It doesn't matter what I do, I'm going to spill. So I had a beautiful 1010 XL collared shirt on yesterday, 92.5. Sure enough, bit of wing during a commercial break.
Sauce.
Splattered it all over my shirt.
No.
So I got a nice shirt here.
Right.
But you're giving away T-shirts.
Right.
So what did I do? Right before the start of the show, so give me one of those bad boys. I can't remember the last time I actually got a brand new 1010 XL 92.5 T-shirt. I'm guessing it's been at least a decade.
Right.
I slapped that bad boy on, so
Looks
when we
crisp.
eat later on in the program, if it gets on this,
right,
I can always use it to,
gonna be a simple
sponge
wash.
my car, sponge my truck. Oh man,
it's a simple wash.
Oh, the GF gets all that stuff
Right,
out, but
right.
I'm just a dead giveaway. It's good to see you, man. I
Good
know
to see
you
you
love
too.
hoops. How you doing?
Yeah, man. No, it's always good to see you. It's always great when we do this. I mean, you bring up Ponte Vedra and Mr. Chubby's. We had great memories there. I mean, did a show together for a long time where I was your producer. We had a lot of fun. So anytime I'm with you, it always brings back great memories. I love doing it. Rick.
How's your bracket?
So I went 13-3. I don't know where my bracket is currently with today's final scores, but I was surprised that I started out that strong in my bracket to start. I was very surprised. I had chosen VCU to defeat North Carolina, but I thought that I'd be wrong on that. That was just a very big surprise for me after day one. But I mean, this is March. This is what we live for. I think that's why everybody in the college basketball sphere who watches college basketball on a more routine basis, that's why they love these games.
The Wolves are out right now in and around North Carolina when it comes to, what to end up doing with Hubert Davis. And it's been an interesting year. Syracuse, I mean, you look at Blue Bloods, teams that have won national titles. Syracuse, they fired their coach, Adrian Autry. Damon Stoudemire wasn't able to get it done at Georgia Tech. Earl Grant fired at BC. Providence has changed coaches. And then you have Oregon State and Kansas State. Well, if you add to that North Carolina, kind of an interesting sweep. And, yeah, there's many more teams in college basketball than certainly there are in college football. And I don't think anything really is there when it comes to the NFL, which seems to average about 7 coaching changes a year. There were actually 10 this past season with, the one retirement or resignation with Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. The other 9 were fires. I mean, 32 teams, 10 coaching changes. That's nearly 1/3 of the league. Just absolutely incredible. All right, we're at the family gathering place, and this is always a good time. I appreciate them having us back out here. We had such a sensational time with it 1 year ago. Let me tell you what's going on here in their specials during March Madness, okay? $1 wings. You can get $10 domestic draft beer pitchers during all the games, which are going on now and will continue deep into the night. I mean, the last couple of games, Florida plays very late. I want to say 9:40, 9:50. I'll check that for you in a second. I want to say it's 9:50. And then Miami is the last game at 10:10 tonight against Missouri, and they're a very small 2-point favorite there. $6 Cutwaters, $20 Cutwater buckets. And again, we're right next to Publix here off of Old St. Augustine Road. Some kids here, some middle-aged folks here. A lot of grown-ups are here and thoroughly enjoying everything that is ongoing. We invite you to come on by if you would like to say hello as well. All right, let's give you an update. Utah State on a big run. Last report I gave you before the break was Villanova 73, Utah State 71. It is now Utah State 85-76 over Villanova with 43 seconds to go in the basketball game. All right, Tennessee pounding Miami of Ohio. Right now, Miami of Ohio trailing the Vols 74-54, 2:55 to go in the second half of that game. Coming up at 6:50, you got Iowa and Clemson. And at 7:10, Northern Iowa, St. John's. The last 2 games that'll begin while we're on the air, UCF, UCLA, which I think is going to be a very interesting game. The Bruins favored by 5.5. That's in the East region. And then, of course, Queens University against Purdue. That coming up tonight at 7:35. I'll go through the late night games a little bit later on. I had the Philly Godfather on yesterday. If you missed it, I thought it was really interesting. He gave us a statistic that 88% of the winners cover the number, which is almost unheard of in regular sports. I mean, pick your sport. Hockey, baseball, football, basketball. He said that this is recent in the NCAA tournament. I'm not going to question any of his knowledge, for crying out loud. He's a professional gambler. But he said the lay to 35.5 with Florida. I mean, to me, that is just one of those deals where leave it alone. Why would you bet it? Okay? Unless you put $10 or $20 or something on. Why would you bet it? What if Florida plays a great game tonight, wins by 28, all right, instead of being really happy about the Gators winning comfortably and moving on to the second round on Sunday, you're going to be upset that they didn't cover the number. That's why I've never understood the feeling of betting on a team that you love. Why would you do that to yourself? Now, if it's an even pick'em game, maybe, okay, that maybe I can understand that. But in this case, it makes absolutely no sense to me. Now, of course, and I used to do this with my brother back in the days that I did bet. I don't bet anymore, but I used to pay for the win. That's what we would call it, and always take the other team, right? Game of the century in '93, Florida State against Notre Dame. Pick Notre Dame. I won the money. I would have given that money away hand over foot. I probably had $100 on it. That's all I could afford back then. Did the same thing in wide right 1 and 2. Did it several times over the years against Miami and Florida. You pick the other team. You're willing to lay down, a wage that you can afford to lose. As a matter of fact, a wage that you prefer to lose. It's money that you're literally able to throw out your car window and know that it's gone because you're so satisfied with the fact that your team won. Not a lot of people do that. I used to, okay? And trust me, the return on picking the other team was nothing compared to the elation of losing the money and have your alma mater to win. The only other team I ever really did that with was Red Sox and Yankees before the curse was broken. So, again, I'm not giving you advice. I'm just throwing that out there if you've ever considered looking at it that way. But, I mean, laying 35.5, heck no, I wouldn't do it. All right, it's a final. Villanova gets knocked off by Utah State. So a 9 seed over an 8 seed. The final there is 86-76. When I come back from this break, I'm going to run through everything that has gone down today. Now, 7 finals are in as far as the NCAA tournament, and Tennessee winding down. 20 seconds remain. They are up 78-56. So by the time you return, 8 games will be complete. 8 more are getting ready to get underway, including 4 in the very near future. First up is about 20 minutes away. That is Iowa and Clemson. Let me tell you about the good folks at the Alexander Law Practice. First off, there's sensational lawyers all over the place, right? Great national lawyers, great statewide law firms. The difference with Rick Alexander is he's one of you, okay? He's a local guy. He's born, raised right here, got everything done right here, built his practice right here. And he takes on less as far as his clientele because he's old school. And he is absolutely deeply involved with every single one of the people who call on him. And that's pretty rewarding. It is. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find that, nationally speaking or statewide speaking, not right here in Duval. So if right now you're dealing with an injury that was suffered during a car accident, if your car is totaled, whatever it may be, just pick up the phone, call 400-6600, or better yet, check them out online. Just go to Alexander Law Practice, and they will tell everything to you. Now, no retainer fee. Never out of your pocket, okay? No consultation fee, no phone call fee, nothing. A lot of people are intimidated by that. They think if they call a law practice, and some charge, not Alexander Law Practice. Again, if you've been injured, you're not coming out of pocket when you contact or you go through the entire process with the Alexander Law Practice. Check them out online, Alexander Law Practice. And again, you can place a call, 400-6600. All right, when we come back, let's run through the 8 finals that are in. Get you ready for the 8 games that are going on tonight, including late night. Both the Gators and the Hurricanes, separate games, but they are in action as well. It's great to have you with us. We are live from Top Dawg Tavern off of Old St. Augustine Road. We're located right here next to Publix.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Indoor golf in Ponte Vedra is here. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Play the best courses in the world at Back Nine Golf. Top simulators, analytics to improve your game, or just have a blast with friends or a client. Get this, you can bring your own beverages, including cocktails. Go to back9golf.com, book a tee time today. Membership opportunities, lessons, Back Nine Golf in Ponte Vedra, next to Nice High School. Back Nine Golf, where golf never sleeps.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Bari here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Bari Orthopedics today or visit bariorthopedics.com.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
All right, Jackson, let's talk about it. Spring cleaning feels great until your drains remind you what they've been holding on to all winter. If your sink's burping, your shower's backing up, or your toilet's hesitating like it's reading a blitz, it's time to call in the pros. Call Duck Rooter. During their spring drain cleaning promotion, get your drains cleaned plus a free camera inspection for just $129. Must have outside clean out, honest pricing, proven experience, no fourth quarter surprises. When you're stuck, call the Duck. That's 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
Free agency profiles are covered by Premier Outdoor Inc., a visionary of hardscapes and aquatics.
Jacksonville played it coy in the free agent game, avoiding the big splash. Their best move was re-signing cornerback Monteric Brown for 3 years and $33 million. After losing ETN to New Orleans, they found help in former Washington running back Chris Rodriguez. Liam Cohen is familiar with his skill set after coaching him at Kentucky. It's 2 years in Teal for the former Wildcat.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval!
Got a dent or a scratch that needs fixing? San Jose Collision in Mandarin offers expert auto body repair and works with all insurance. Family owned and locally trusted. San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1010XL and 92.5 FM. We are with you tonight up until 10 o'clock, and that'll be live. I'll do it till 8. My name is Rick Ballou. Hacker will get here and take you from 8 to 10, so he's going to be on for the very beginning of that Gator game. And unfortunately, he will not be on for the Miami game, which and both of these rarely start on time. right? I mean, the announced time for Miami tonight is at 10:10. The Florida Gators are expected to tip off at 9:25. Okay, so the late wave, Florida is first in the South region, and the only way that that's going to begin at 9:25 is if Iowa Clemson plays a fast game, right? Not a lot of fouls, not a lot of reviews by the officials. Hopefully, no injuries. And if they play a quick game, which begins at 6:50, you could have it start on time, but you need what? Probably, I think it's 25, 30 minutes to go through warm-ups and do all that. It's not like the game ends and then all of a sudden you bring out the team and you play. No, there is an intermission where obviously these guys got to stretch and get loose. So 9:25 is the expected time. We'll see what ends up happening. You can watch the game right here. What a great spot. Top Dawg Tavern. It is the gathering place for families and friends. And I've seen a bunch of them. My good buddy Derek Redding is here from GFL. His son Luke as well from who I've known for a number of years. They are here. We just had a gentleman come up, say he heard us on the radio and popped in. RJ gave him a nice T-shirt. So there's room for you. And again, we're getting ready to tip off here with 4 games. One's going to begin in 10 minutes. That's Iowa and Clemson. That's the first one that is up. So we're actually right now in a tiny lull with no games going on. One is going to start again in 10 minutes. That's 8-seed Clemson, 9-seed Iowa. Iowa favored by 1.5. That is in the South region. Again, the winner of that game, you would assume, is going to take on Florida, who is a 35.5-point favorite. Coming up at 7:10, Northern Iowa St. John's. St. John's a 5-seed, Northern Iowa a 12-seed. We had a 12-5 upset yesterday. We get one every year, all right? And we certainly did see that on Thursday. UCF and UCLA at 7:25, and then at 7:35, it is Purdue against Queens University. All right, let me tell you what has happened today. 8R finals, including moments ago, Tennessee knocks off Miami of Ohio 78-56. So Miami of Ohio wins 32 straight games and then loses their last 2. Wow. Tennessee improves to 23-11. Villanova gets knocked off by Utah State, 86-76. Again, Utah State went on a furious, it reminds me of VCU last night, forcing overtime. Villanova was up 73-71 with just a few minutes to go in the game. And Utah State, let's see here, goes on a 15-3 run to end this basketball game. They knock off Villanova 86-76. Kentucky took overtime. And wait till you see this. If you've been locked away all day and you haven't been able to see anything that has gone viral, or you have been around a television, a buzzer beater to force overtime by Kentucky, who surrendered a lead here against Santa Clara. And again, they got it done in overtime. Kentucky a winner 89-84. Texas Tech 91-71 over Akron in another 12 against 5 matchup. Alabama 90-70 against Hofstra. I was watching this game. I want to say Bama was only up by a couple at half, and they went on a run in the second half. Again, they end up winning by 20 points. Virginia had a scare early on with Wright State, and then Wright State made a comeback again deep into the second half. Virginia pulls it out late. They win by 9, but, that score probably doesn't tell the story of what happened in this game. I have Virginia going to the national championship, taking on Duke. Again, the way my mind is working is very similar to this year's NFC championship game. I thought the winner of that game would win the Super Bowl, and certainly that proved to be the case with Seattle. A lot of people have Duke in Houston, as I do. A lot of people may have Duke in Florida. Okay, can the Gators repeat? I think whoever gets out of either, the left side of the bracket, whoever gets out of the East and the South, I think is going to beat anyone coming from the West and the Midwest. For what it is, for what it's worth, I have Arizona and Virginia coming out of the West and the Midwest, respectively. Iowa State 108-74 against Tennessee State, and Arizona, a number 1 seed, no problem at all with Long Island University. They win that basketball game by the final of 92-58. All right, I want to spend a couple of minutes. Maybe I'll do it at 7 o'clock and get into DJ Chark a little bit. I think he deserves plenty of recognition. Where do you put him after what he was able to do in his career is up to you. But he has announced his retirement, and he just did a few minutes ago. Let me read. I'll give you this before the break, and then we'll spend more time on it coming up. Since, again, we are in just a brief break here until the next wave of games. The first one does begin coming up in 5 minutes between Iowa and Clemson. Again, the winner of that game will take on Florida. That is being played in the South region, and tip time is expected at 6:50 between Iowa and Clemson. But let me read this. This is DJ Chark, just what he had to say. After much contemplation, I have decided to share a proper farewell as I navigate retirement. My journey began at the age of 7 when I signed up for football, unaware of a profound impact it would have on my life. I simply loved the sport and had the unwavering support of my parents. Years later, I received the support of my wife, kids, family, and thousands of fans. As I write this, I reflect on the challenges I've faced and overcome, as well as the rewards I've reaped. I've learned to appreciate every experience and not take any of them for granted. As I enter this next chapter of my life, I remain committed to being an active pillar in my community, empowering the youth through charitable work. The possibilities ahead are endless, and that excites me. I am grateful for all my teammates, fans, and every organization I have the privilege to play for. All the glory goes to God. I am forever thankful. Okay, if you knew DJ Chark at all, you're not surprised by those comments. I think it's so well said. And, he did deal with some personal issues. The whole mental health issue is so important. We're learning more and more about it all the day, all the time. I'm old enough to remember that we didn't even talk about mental illness. And if you had that, you were weak, right? You were a coward, okay? I mean, that's the way it was years and years and years and years ago. I'm talking about that's the way it was when I grew up in the 80s. We didn't talk about mental health, okay? It was just you're having a bad day or you're a bad guy. And if you can't come to terms with it, you're weak. Thank goodness there's been nonstop studies on it. And, through therapy, through medicine, through so much more, we're seeing a lot of improvement here. So, it takes this type of man he is to come out and recognize that and say that in his retirement comment, if you will. Always have been a big fan of DJ Chuck. More of a fan of him personally than I am professionally. But we'll take a little look at his career as we begin the 7 o'clock hour. We'll also look at the newest member of the Jaguars, another wide receiver, Jake Bobo. Okay, he's not officially a Jaguar. He's a restricted free agent. So the Jaguars today sign him to an offer sheet. Seattle has 5 days to match the offer. If they do not, he becomes a Jaguar. Okay, we got much more to do. With you up until 8 o'clock. Again, we're at Dawg Tavern, getting ready to tip off right now between Iowa and Clemson. And then we'll have 3 games that'll follow in the 7 o'clock hour. It's great to have you with us again. Top Dawg Tavern, right next to Publix. We are located in Bartram, right off of Old St. Augustine Road.
Your home for Florida Gators basketball is 1010XL.
The top-seeded Gators take their first step in the big dance tonight in Tampa against Prairie View. 9 o'clock on 1010 AM.
If your lawn took a beating this winter, listen up. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. They've just started the first of 3 rounds of premium granular fertilizer. No cheap liquid fertilizer here. Custom blended for Northeast Florida lawns. Their certified technicians apply slow-release nutrients. Rebuild your lawn thick, strong, and green over time. Plus, they protect your home from pests and termites. Call Julington Creek Pest Control today. Our family serving yours since 1984.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
In the game of vehicle performance and reliability, Atlantic Infinity is always the top pick. This is Hayes Carlion. Did you know that every certified pre-owned Infinity is inspected, factory backed, with a limited warranty, and gets the same championship level service as a brand new Infinity? Every mile will feel like first class. Check out their full certified inventory now at AtlanticInfinity.com or visit Atlantic Infinity off Atlantic near St. John's Bluff.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $5,000 per ounce, and silver is over $100 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold and silver for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Has any Major League Baseball player ever hit 2 grand slams in the same inning?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Fernando Tatis of the Cardinals hit 2 grand slams in the same inning in 1999. Both came off the same pitcher, Chan Ho Park of the Dodgers.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% and homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Top Dawg Tavern off of Old St. Augustine, the gathering place for family and friends. Just underway, the first game of the next wave, 5-3 Iowa over Clemson. Again, they have just tipped. 3 more games will get underway in the 7 o'clock hour. Come on over and say hello. $1 wings. And really good beer specials as well, including $10 pitchers of beer, domestic. So come on by. Great family place, great place to get out with friends as well. We did lose Chuck Norris today at the age of 86. And, really a legend. Taekwondo, karate, judo. He goes back to the days of the late Bruce Lee and the Way of the Dragon in 1972. The Wrecking Crew prior to that in the late 60s did quite a few things after the fact, but people loved him, and he was like. Who would I compare him to if you're younger? I guess, The Rock maybe, Vin Diesel, Jason Statham, one of those type of guys that's always fighting. It used to be Steven Seagal and stuff like that. Well, Chuck Norris was, next to Bruce Lee, was basically like the first whoever did that when it came to, movies that were put together, whether he was a vigilante or whether he was playing a cop and he was a good guy. I'm trying to remember if he was a real bad guy in anything, but he was in the military. He was part of the Air Force. I mean, this guy was in phenomenal shape and had a very good life, and he did pass today in Hawaii at the age of 86. So, I'm up this morning and I'm doing work, and I'm always preparing for the program, and I'm on Twitter, and all of a sudden it comes down that Chuck Norris has passed. Then it comes down that Mean Joe Green has died. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here. Because when I think of the Steel Curtain defense, and there's so many Hall of Famers on that side of the football, Mean Joe is the first guy I think of. Jack Lambert would be second. And, Elsie Greenwood, Earl Holmes, Jack Ham, Hall of Famer Donnie Shell, Hall of Famer Jack Lambert's a Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer Mel Blount, the Wagner, the former Florida State Seminole. You just go on and on and on and on and on. And it was a false report. And I'm like, I get the fact that there's a lot of really unhappy people who are out there, and hacking is a part of what we are living in, okay? But come on, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to be kidding me. You can't put out wrongful information that involves the death of someone. I don't know anything at all about Mean Joe Green and his family. But, let's just say Mean Joe's in Pittsburgh. He was a longtime coach. I remember seeing him years ago as a defensive line coach in Pittsburgh. Remember when I started working for ABC Sports, I remember doing a game between Pittsburgh and Miami on a Monday night. And, one of my first experiences getting in this business. But let's just say he's in Pittsburgh. And let's say he's got brothers, sisters, sons, daughters. He's older, so they're married, grandkids who may be grown. And you're in Wyoming, or you're right here in Duval. And all of a sudden you grab Twitter and you see that your dad or your granddad or your brother or whatever it may be has died. I mean, this is just awful. There's no excuse for this. And, I like to have fun. I like to embellish at times. But to me, this is a serious offense. They should find out who did this and arrest them. You got to draw the line somewhere. You can't start posting about people who have died if they're alive. Think about what if he had a brother or a sister who was around his age? They looked at their phone, they had a freaking heart attack because they saw that, because they didn't get, the personal call that, typically it's the family first before the media gets a hold of it. Think of those set of circumstances. If someone had a stroke, if someone had a heart attack, if something like that happened because they had learned that, a family member or a great friend of his had passed. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I mean, if that's, you want to hack stuff, you want to do whatever, I don't agree with that either. I never understood vandalism. I never understood writing on walls. I never understood destroying a city after you win a championship. I mean, who does that? Well, they do it all over. Look at Sparty. Look at Michigan State. Look at Los Angeles. Why do you destroy things when you win a championship? There's a lot of things I can't figure out. But faking a fake announcement of a death? No. There's a lot of good people out there that do that full time. And there's more important things. Let's start with, child pornography. That's number one. There's more important things to get to. I'm with you there. But I think there has to be a message sent about those who are coming out with faulty information when it comes to death to a celebrity. Just my opinion. 8-4, Iowa up over Clemson. Couple of minutes into the first half with that game. All right, let's get to DJ Chark a little bit. I want to bring up the power rankings. I never do the power rankings in season. I actually do them a little bit during the off season. And today's really surprised me. If you haven't heard, we'll get to that coming up in our second hour. We'll also keep you updated on all the games that are going on. It's great to have you with us. We are here at Dawg Tavern on Old St. Augustine Road, right next to Publix, located in Bartram.
Taking you from the line of scrimmage to the end zone. This is 1010 XL.
Before the regular season begins, cash in on baseball right now with a title on the line. This is Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet, and 20 nations are battling for the World Baseball Crown. Step up to the plate and take your swing all tournament long on Hard Rock Bet. Lock in on all the action and make every pitch matter more on Hard Rock Bet. Easy to navigate and cash a winning bet. Download the Hard Rock Bet app now. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
What's happening, beautiful people? E.T. here. Let me tell you about a little something that's happening right here in my side of town in Fleming Island. Encore Research Group is advancing the future of medicine through clinical research studies focused on weight loss, diabetes, hypertension, and more. Their team of multi-specialty doctors are proudly serving folks in Fleming Island, Green Coast Springs, and Middleburg. If you ever wondered whether a research study might be right for you, find out at EncoreDocs.com to see if you qualify. Encore Research Group. The future of medicine starts here.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulate the 1010XL Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brandon Webb, senior track and field athlete at Andrew Jackson High. Brandon was an all-Gateway Conference champ and is a member of the National Honor Society. He'll be attending the University of Alabama.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service,
Instant Keys comes to you.
What does your dream backyard look like? The team at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can design an outdoor kitchen layout custom built to your taste and lifestyle. You dream it, they can build it. At CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. CSSOutdoor.com.
Hey Jacksonville, Don here, the big cheese at Taco Lou. Well, everyone knows my wife Debbie is the real cheese at the Lou. We just do what we're told. We aren't a sports bar at all, but we have the best selection of the finest tequilas that Mexico has to offer, and that makes any basketball game more fun to watch. So come into Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach, where we love sports and we love tacos with our tequila. If you're looking for a crew to help with your fiestas at home or work, Taco Lou caters, bringing the tacos to you. Taco Lou in Jax Beach, where tacos and sports go hand in hand.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Such a great time of year, no doubt about it. NCAA tournament. We have gone from 48, making our way down to 32. Right now, officially 40 teams remain, as 8 did advance a little bit earlier today. Only one game going on right now. And break up Iowa. The Hawkeyes 15, the Clemson Tigers 6. Making our way to about the midway point through the first half. And again, if you're a Gator fan, all you want is for this game, to just play itself out. Don't be a long, drawn-out game with fouls and reviews and all that stuff, because you're scheduled to play tonight at 9:25. Very rarely do these games go off, especially the late ones, as expected. But nonetheless, we'll see what does happen there. All right, Top Dawg Tavern, man. Seen a lot of old buddies of mine, guys I haven't seen in quite some time. It's pretty cool out here. The Woodman is here. Just bumped into Doug Grishmer, who is here. Woody Bunch, of course, is the Woodman. One of my regulars on the golf circuit, along with my South African friend Kenny, and, of course, Aaron Beasley, who I don't even think I'm going to play golf with Beasley anymore. He was so good last time out. He just absolutely embarrassed me. That guy must be practicing day after day after day. Of course, no one admits to practicing in the sport of golf, but Beasley's been playing some really good golf as of late. But Top Dawg Tavern is it. $1 wings, okay? $10 pitchers of domestic beer. And, again, this is a gathering place. See a lot of kids. See some folks that are a little bit older. See plenty of individuals that are here with, wives, girlfriends, what have you. And it's certainly, there is room for you. It's busy right now, but I see a couple of tabletops that are open. I see a couple of booths that are open. It's also outdoors with a nice beer garden, as well as indoor. Sensational bar area, too. The bar goes outside and inside. Reminds me of kind of a Chicago style of bar. Yeah, I get it. In Chicago, you can use the outside part of the bar, the beer garden, about 45 days a year, but not here at Top Dawg. So come on out. We're right here in Bartram off of Old St. Augustine Road. Okay, let me give you this. Let me tell you first about what is going. I love when the drunks come up and just try to have a conversation. Like, dude, can't you tell I got a headset on and I'm sitting here with my gums flapping? The guy's
doing
like,
a show here.
Yeah. Hey, excuse me there. Right? The guy was like 92. He's like, excuse me there, sir. Can I have a shirt? Can I have a cool? You can have whatever you want, man. Just don't ask me.
Please don't talk during the show.
Don't ask me a question when I'm trying to talk. It's all good, though. I mean, what that guy needs is another. And he needs one of those $10 domestic pitchers right now to get things moving on this Friday. All right, the Jaguars today, an offer sheet to Jake Bobo. 6'4", 207 pounds. Okay, he's from North Andover, Massachusetts. Went to Duke, then transferred to UCLA. He, in his career, 34 receptions, 323 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now, he caught 25 as a rookie in 2023 with two TDs. He caught 17 balls in 2024, had 1 touchdown. Last year, he went from 17 games played in both 23 and 24 to only 11 games played last year. Now, I'll look this up. I don't know if he was injured. I don't know if he was a scratch. We'll see. But he only caught 2 balls. Okay, so obviously not nearly as productive, but he's a young guy. And, as a big body, the first thing that comes to mind for me is this a younger version of Tim Patrick? And, Tim Patrick's not going to blow you away, but he caught some fairly important balls last year. And, that was another important trade that Jacksonville made. And to me, that is what I really enjoy about this team, is that they're getting better. And we don't often look at 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 50. We don't often talk about the bottom of the roster. But it's so important for a variety of reasons. Number one, if someone ahead of you gets injured. But number two, do you have the qualities that this new organization is looking for? Do you love football? Are you going to make the atmosphere better or the ecosystem better? All right? You don't bring in guys that are not 100% committed. You don't bring in guys who don't understand their role. The only time you bring in guys with questionable character is if they are a sensational football player. All right, so I got to believe there's a lot of good things going on here about Jake Bobo that they are absolutely impressed with. So let's see. He is he's 27. He'll actually turn 28 in August. So, again, there isn't a huge difference between him and Tim Patrick as far as age. Doesn't mean they don't bring back Tim Patrick. What this does mean, and they're going to bring in more wide receivers. I mean, they have 11 draft picks. Right now, they don't need a running back. Right now, they don't need a wide receiver. It doesn't mean they don't use a late 6th or 7th round pick to get one of them. All right, we'll see. But that is the latest there. Now, he's a restricted free agent. The Jaguars have signed him to an offer sheet. Seattle has 5 days to match that offer. And, the way that it works, or always did work, is if you sign a restricted free agent, they get a draft pick. I got to believe, and I haven't looked this up yet, and I will during our next break, just to be 100% sure on it. But I got to guess it's a 7th round pick, if anything, because this is not a headline player. Very little in return would be my estimation, but I'll find that out officially coming up again in just a little bit. As a matter of fact, let's take this break on time, and when we do return, I will get into that. I also want to get into these power rankings, which are actually humorous as far as I am concerned, and again, just the total lack of respect that the national media gives Jacksonville. People all the time are like, can Jacksonville deal with the success? Well, I think there's going to be, kind of a twofold situation with that question, because there is going to be a ton of local hype. I see that coming, deservedly so. I still think nationally, the majority of the media is going to pick Houston. The majority of the media is going to question whether or not Jacksonville can maintain. And the latest power rankings from NFL.com prove that. We'll get to it on the other side. Iowa up 20-10 over Clemson as we make our way midway through the first half. Come on out and say hello. We are at Top Dawg Tavern right here on Old St. Augustine Road. We're next to Publix in Bartram.
He went head-to-head with Reggie White and Derek Thomas.
I like this kind of body.
But can he handle Joe Coward and Matt Hayes?
No, break it down. Come on. Woo!
Leon Searcy on XL Primetime.
That's what I'm talking about.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Hi, this is Dale Murray with Murray Automotive Group in Stark and Kingsland. Save yourself from those big city dealers and their fast-talking mumbo-jumbo. No matter what your automotive need is, we've got you covered. Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and nobody beats our prices. I mean nobody. Shazam! Plus our exclusive 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty included on every qualified vehicle. And we'll trade anything from high heels to wagon wheels. Compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. Then come see me, Dale Murray. I'll be waiting for you. Shazam!
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulate the 1010XL Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Jaden Mincy, senior cheerleader, weightlifter, and track and field athlete at First Coast High School. She's the president of the National Honor Society and has been accepted to attend FSU.
Come visit the best sports restaurant in town. That's Big Dog's in Orange Park, known for great burgers, huge wings, pizza, salads, and special nightly events like trivia and karaoke. You'll all love it at Big Dog's Restaurant in Orange Park.
All right, Jacksonville, you know spring has officially arrived when the pollen's flying, the grass is growing, and your septic system starts thinking about getting your attention. Trust me, a simple pump out now can save you from a disaster that'll have the whole neighborhood holding their noses. That's why you call Duck Rooter the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. Real pros, not somebody guessing with a shovel. Right now, schedule your spring septic clean and get $50 off septic tank pumping. So when you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
At G&H Tires and Service, the G stands for great pricing. The H, well, that means honest service. For over 20 years, Roger and his team have helped Jacksonville drivers stay safe on the road. Need brakes, oil change, AC not blowing cold? Well, how about a super affordable $36 oil change? Affordable brake jobs, AC checks before summer hits, alignments for all these construction roads, and even free check engine light inspections. Locally owned, community driven. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard.
Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go.
Money Pages in your mailbox right now.
Picken here. See clearly with the Eye Associates and trusted optometrist Zachary Boskool and Alice LaFlamme. From comprehensive eye exams, dry eye care, glaucoma management, diabetic eye care, and more, Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme are dedicated to protecting your vision. Immediate availability at all 5 Jacksonville locations. Schedule today with Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme by calling the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD at 296-0098.
Get ready for spring turkey season at Green Acres Sporting Goods. Find shotguns trusted in the field from Browning, Beretta, and Benelli. Plus, the newest bows are ready to test shoot from Hoyt and Matthews. For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has helped Northeast Florida hunters gear up with confidence. Stop by Green Acres today at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard or shop online anytime at greenacresporting.com.
Hey there, ET here with 1010XL, and here's a little how to be cool secret. No need to wait for an anniversary or a birthday. I just simply dial up Kuhn Flowers and send someone something special for absolutely no reason. It's really fun, and I can do it online at kuhnflowers.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, got an update on the game and on Jake Bobo. Clemson now still down 10, 22-12, Iowa up. So we make our way with about 7.5 minutes to go in the first half. Top Dawg Tavern, come on over, say hello. This is where families do meet, friends do meet. It's the gathering place. $1 wings, $10 domestic pitchers of beer, right off Old St. Augustine Road out here in Bartram. All right, for starters, he caught a touchdown, a huge touchdown in the NFC Championship game, a 17-yarder when, Seattle won by 4. They knocked off the Los Angeles Rams. So that's the first part of Jake Bobo. Only caught 3 balls last year. Reason why I only caught 3 balls, played 11 games, dealt with a ton of injuries. All right, last year he missed time with a calf injury. He dealt with an Achilles issue in week 9. You can go all the way back to preseason where he suffered a concussion during the preseason finale against the Packers. So he was slowed. It was a year in which he just really could not get untracked. Again, did put up big numbers or the big touchdown, I guess I should say, in the victory over Los Angeles in the NFC Championship game. Now, as far as compensation, Jacksonville will not be responsible for giving up any type of draft pick because Seattle exercised the right of first refusal. So what can happen, since he's a 3-year vet, 3 years of accrued seasons in the National Football League, he could sign with whoever. Today he chose Jacksonville. Seattle now has 5 days to match that offer. Okay? Jacksonville could offer him $10 million a year. Jacksonville could offer him the league 4-year veteran minimum. Seattle then will decide, do you match it and keep him, or do you let him go? But because they exercise the right of first refusal, there is no compensation coming from Jacksonville to Seattle. If you go back a couple of, a week and a half ago when they went out and signed Chris Rodriguez Jr., he was another restricted free agent. But in the District of Columbia, they decided not to exercise their rights towards him as a restricted free agent. So Jacksonville got him, and again, didn't have to give up anything to get it done. Apparently, within the first hour that he became a free agent, Jacksonville was able to snatch him up. So it all comes down to Jake Bobo now. This is a deep, wide receiving core. Does he elect to come here, or is he using this as somewhat of a bargaining chip, hoping that Seattle is able to match it, and then he can make a return to the Seahawks? We'll find out. Only time will tell with Jake Bobo, who, again, has signed an offer sheet today with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm guessing by Tuesday we will know. Seattle could match it at any time, but officially for the Jaguars, my thinking is that will not become official until Tuesday, unless there is some sort of notification coming from Seattle. 6:32 to go, first half in the South region. It is number 9, Iowa 22. It is number 8, Clemson 12. Okay, coming up here in 3 minutes, you have number 5, St. John's against number 12, Northern Iowa. Coming up, it's now 7:31. See, that's changed. That was never a 7:31 start time. Number 7, UCLA. Number 10, UCF. That is going to be, again, at 7:31. And the final game this hour will be at 7:35. Number 2, Purdue against number 15, Queens University. All right. I don't put a lot of trust into the power rankings. It's weird because As a college football guy, we live by the rankings. And people all the time will say, oh, they shouldn't have preseason rankings. Why do they have preseason rankings? You can't tell anything about a team until you get, at least into the month of October. Well, let me tell you why they have preseason rankings in college football. Because no one would talk about the sport if you didn't drop them. I mean, college football is like a bear. It goes into complete, total hibernation for months. And look, they took away the first Wednesday in February for recruiting that used to be just huge. They took away, for the most part, spring games in April. At least you could dab into those two and get a day in February, get a weekend in April where college football fans could, again, navigate towards their team. Nowadays, you get nothing. I still don't know what's going on. This early signing period in December and everything else. But whenever you hear someone say they should not have preseason rankings in college football, tell them why they do. So you'll create some talk for the sport. You never have to worry about creating talk in the National Football League. They're brilliant. They are absolutely a well-oiled machine. Every week, there's something to talk about in pro football. Wait till late next week with the NFL's owners' meetings. All right, you're going to see a bunch of new rules, a bunch of new things that are going to be thrown out there by select teams. And, we'll see how many get tabled. We'll see how many get thrown out. And we will see how many actually do pass. So that gets us to the power rankings in the NFL. And the exact opposite of how I feel with the college football rankings. I've never really been a big fan or really have studied the NFL power rankings. The only time I like them is during the offseason. Again, because it gives you something more to talk about. Well, today I'm looking at NFL.com. Yeah, obviously reputable. Texans at 8, Jaguars at 12. Goes back to exactly what I said just a couple of moments ago. It really doesn't matter what Jacksonville did a year ago. They're always going to have to prove themselves. Now, I get it. Since C.J. Stroud has been there, every year he's taking them to the divisional round, right? He's got more playoff wins early in his career than Trevor Lawrence does. So, that is something that certainly is notable. Okay, there's no doubt that is the case. But where have the Texans so significantly improved their football team where Jacksonville has not? And the obvious answer is national folks are going to look at the loss of Lloyd, and they're going to look at the loss of Etienne and say, that can't happen. Even though Houston traded two parts of their offensive line. Houston did re-up with Daniel Hunter. All right, no doubt about that. And they also made a couple of other interesting moves. They made the trade and went out and got Montgomery from Detroit. But I don't understand the thinking here. And then to make matters even more bizarre, with Jacksonville at 12, they're actually the 7th highest ranked team in the AFC. You've got to be kidding me here. If they ran Bayshell Tootin, they're winning that game against Buffalo. And anything could have happened a week later during the divisional round. So you got Seattle and LA. No one's going to argue with that. All right, Denver number 1 in the AFC at 3. Buffalo number 2 in the AFC at 4. San Fran, Baltimore number 3 in the AFC at 6. New England number 4 in the AFC at 7. Houston number 5 in the AFC at 8. Bears and Eagles at 9 and 10. The Chargers at 11. Again. And then Jacksonville at number 12. I know you're not going to go crazy over it right now because there's still a lot that can happen, including in free agency. And then the draft is 5 weeks from last night. So we're only 34 days away from the NFL draft. And we'll see how many guys Jacksonville can add. They have 11 draft picks. They have 4 in the top 100. They have the ability to maneuver, put together a trade. I think there will be a trade. I think that's part of the makeup with James Gladstone. It may be picks for picks. It may be late stuff. Jacksonville may sacrifice one of those third-round picks if there's a guy that they believe they absolutely have to have and move up. Or they could sit back and draft all 11. Only time will tell. And hey, don't blink, but before you know it, that is going to be here. And, of course, right before that, a month prior to that will be next week, and that will be the NFL's owners' meetings, which I'm just a geek for. I love that stuff. It just amazes me. Again, I just bragged about how it's such a well-oiled machine, how the NFL is brilliant. They give their fans so much to choose from. There's always something going on, yet the owners just have no idea. They don't. They're all about greed. They miss some of the most obvious situations. Common sense does not come into play. Who's giving them that information? I actually think, and I got to hit this break, I actually think that this is where Tony Baselli is a factor. And I don't know this, okay? But this is just my guess. There are certain issues league-wide as far as rule changes where I think Baselli can really grab the ear of Shad Khan. Look at last year's deal. Again, I tried to sell it like a mother, and I couldn't get any of you to respond. They were really considering changing the playoff rankings and no longer giving the home field to all 8 divisional winners. Of course, 2 get buys, so the other 6 divisional winners. They were going to do it by record. My thought going into the year is that Jacksonville was not going to go 13-4. I had them going 10-7. Well, would 10-7 be good enough to have a home game? A lot of people had them going 9-8, 8-9. There's no way that would have been good enough. So, again, I'm not saying Shad Khan's not brilliant. Obviously, he's brilliant. He's a multi-billionaire. But I just think something like that, and there could be 100 issues. And this is number, actually, I think it's very important. To me, it'd be way, way up there. But there could be 100 things that are going on that we don't know about. I just think Baselli, knowing the game, knowing how important the home field is, winning the AFC South compared to going out on the road to a team that had a better record, is so important. There's really no other way to say it. And I don't want to say that Shad's not aware of that and wasn't aware of that. I think, in my opinion, he absolutely becomes aware of that type of stuff now that Tony Baselli is there in the front office next to James Gladstone. 29-19, Iowa up over Clemson. We are live at the Top Dawg Tavern. It's right off of Old St. Augustine Road in Bartram, next door to Publix.
Your home for Florida Gators baseball is 1010XL.
18th ranked Florida spends the first weekend of spring in Alabama. Gators Crimson Tide, Saturday and Sunday afternoon on 1010 AM.
An accident with a big truck can change everything in a matter of seconds. Medical bills start piling up, you're missing work, and the trucking company's lawyers, they get to work immediately. That's why you need a law firm that moves just as fast. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we fight for truck accident victims, digging into the details and holding negligent drivers and their trucking companies accountable. We don't get paid unless you do. Big trucks have big lawyers. You need a stronger fighter. Campione Law. Visit CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Mike Dempsey. If you're thinking about a bathroom upgrade, maybe turning that old tub into a safer walk-in shower, check out 5 Star Bath Solutions. I shopped around, talked to several companies, and I chose 5 Star because their customer service was simply incredible. Responsive, honest, upfront about the entire project, and their pricing was even better than expected. When you're ready for a fresh look, better comfort, and a bathroom space you'll love using every day, schedule your free consultation at 5starbathsolutions.com and get the 5-star experience.
Leon Serza here, your lemon pepper guy. You know Wingstop always delivers. And I'm not talking about their cook-to-order, hand-sauced and tossed chicken sandwich in your choice of 12 mouth-watering flavors. I'm not talking about the house-made ranch, so good nobody will blame you if you double dip. I'm talking about Wingstop that delivers straight to your door. And did you know they're open until 1 a.m.? So visit wingstop.com or use the app to get flavors delivered right to your door late night only at Wingstop.
Can't stop. Wingstop.
Indoor golf in Ponte Vedra is here. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Play the best courses in the world at Back Nine Golf. Top simulators, analytics to improve your game, or just have a blast with friends or a client. Get this, you can bring your own beverages, including cocktails. Go to back9golf.com, book a tee time today. Membership opportunities, lessons, Back Nine Golf in Ponte Vedra, next to Nice High School. Back Nine Golf, where golf never sleeps.
Hey, Jacksonville, David Garrard here. If you want a street-legal golf cart that's built with quality and style, check out Dynamic Drives and Designs in Jacks Beach. They have new, used, and fully customized carts from the top brands like Atlas, Dodge, and Pilot Car. Every cart gets a complete expert inspection, so you know it's ready to hit the road. Their team can help you design the perfect custom cart that fits your style and needs. For your custom golf cart, visit dynamicdrivesdesign.com today and see your perfect ride.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's mascot and brand ambassador.
Why do you even talk in these ads?
People see me on the trucks, Brendan, so they expect to hear from me as well.
But I have over a decade's experience personally installing high-quality polymer floors right here in Jacksonville.
Well, I'm a professional mascot, riding around on the side of your trucks, smiling at passers-by.
Then could you at least tell people about our two-stage polymer application process? Give your garage the finishing touch with a gorgeous floor that's guaranteed to last?
A bit busy posing for selfies, I'm afraid.
Years of experience?
Check. Adorable mascot?
Check. The team you need to make your garage gorgeous? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
When my wrist pain was acting up and I needed help, I took Dan Hickens' advice and headed over to see the experts at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. This is Stuart Moore with the PGA Tour. I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whenever you have a need, they took great care of me. They'll take great care of you.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Tell you what, I'm going to go with the golden moment, something we just experienced here a couple of minutes ago. A gentleman came in to Dawg Tavern and showed us a binder of nothing except Mark Brunell football cards. He says he has 8,300 Mark Brunell cards. 8,300. And, you know, he has a binder that was just ripping. I'm actually posting it on Twitter right now. I'm going to guess that there was, I don't know, maybe 1,500 or so. I really, it's 9 a page. You know, how many, 100 pages would be 900. Yeah, I'm guessing that, you know, maybe 150 pages and autographed ones as well. But my goodness, Mark Brunell, man, 8,300 cards. And just had an opportunity to do it again. Let me see if it's posted on Twitter. If you people are interested, you can check it out. Just go to Blue at 1010XL on Twitter. Did you get an opportunity to look at all of those cards, man? Was that nuts or what?
I was able to take a glance. I mean, that's a lot of Mark Brunell cards. I mean, looked like you got everyone in the history of creation of Mark Brunell cards.
Yeah,
I mean, that's quite a collection.
And, you know, he's got some back in the days at UW where, and I'm not saying this because Mark is old. He's around my age. But back in those days, there weren't a lot of college cards. I mean,
right.
Nowadays, college football, they're all over the place.
All over the place.
All right, because they're money makers. But back when he came out, that was not the case. They didn't do it for everyone. They only did it for higher draft picks. And again, it was a very small assortment. But I saw, I think, 2 different, maybe 3 different UW cards there with Mark Burnell. So there you have it. That is the very latest. Pretty cool stuff. All right, I didn't have an opportunity to get into this, which is fine. We'll wait till Monday. But really interesting stuff that was said. I'm not a huge podcast guy. I know I should be. I listen to true crime podcasts. But when it comes to sports, I still am not completely there. I'm not sure why. I'm just not. And, for the most part, I know that we have a lot of athletes who do podcasts, a lot of former athletes that do podcasts. I am a believer in the more is better, okay? Whether it's in town or whether it's national. I always have been one of those who believes competition is the best thing for you. All right? I mean, I don't know if others around would agree with me, but I think the best thing for us would be to have a competitor. Okay? I think it makes people work harder, and that's me. Okay? And you can say whatever you want about me, but if you ever say I don't work hard, there's going to be an issue. And there's no such thing as mailing it in my world. But to look at what Steve Smith said, a guy that I have so much respect for. I mean, what a fierce player, future Hall of Famer. Jimmy Smith should be in before Steve Smith Jr. But for him to come out and talk about how he totally believes that Brian Thomas Jr. was hurt mentally, emotionally, because this football team drafted Travis Hunter, and that he wants out because he's not being used enough. We've exercised all of this. We have discussed all of this. The only way that Brian Thomas Jr. would have been traded was if that was an issue, or they were given just a ridiculous offer, which I don't think that was actually going to be the case anyway. It doesn't come with any substance. It doesn't come with any source. And then James Palmer goes on to talk about how Brian Thomas Jr., really was available in a trade. And he spends 30 seconds talking about how he loves Adam Schefter and how Adam Schefter's the best in the business and Adam Schefter's this and Adam Schefter's that. And, of course, Schefter nationally came out and said that Brian Thomas Jr. is not on the trade block. Then he turns right around after totally endorsing him and then goes the other way. It says Brian Thomas Jr., and I'm paraphrasing this part of it. It's not a quote. Could have been available in a trade. And they get into Max Crosby, how the Jaguars were absolutely involved in Max Crosby. And the reason why they didn't get Max Crosby is they didn't have a first-round pick. But if they were to make a move, that Brian Thomas Jr., without any question, would have ended up being a part of that. So do what you want with it. I will add this to it in final thought on the Jags for tonight. Even though I just complain about the power rankings, now I bring up nothing but rumors involved with Brian Thomas Jr. Isn't it cool that Jacksonville is relevant again? I mean, I've been here since 96. I covered the team in 95 in Tallahassee. Came over for most games. There's been years and years and years and years where there's no talk about the Jaguars unless it's directly here in the city. At least there's something going on. And most of it you can make the case is spun negatively, right? If you get to the loss of ETN, the loss of Lloyd, and in this case here, they talk about Brian Thomas Jr. Again, a lot of wrong information, a lot of, I think, bad opinions, but at least they're being talked about. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys can win 3 games a year, and they're going to be talked about. Jacksonville wins 3 games, you've seen what happens. They're forgotten, and the only talk is, first-round pick, top pick in the draft, or, what they're going to end up doing. So at least that is beginning to happen. And I think that's going to continue now, with this front office and certainly with the, what Trevor Lawrence was able to do during the second half of the season. I can only expect that is going to be what the Jaguars do moving forward, or what they are a part of moving forward. Okay, let's update you on what's going on in games right now. Halftime, South Region. The winner gets Florida. It's number 9, Iowa 32, number 8, Clemson 25. We have 12 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the East region. Right now, number 7, UCLA, up over number 10, UCF, 16-12. 12:46 to go first half in the East region. St. John's over Northern Iowa, 19-3. Boy, it was like a football score. And then finally, 13-10 Purdue over Queens University. That is in the West region with 15 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the first half. All right, we got much more to do here tonight. I'm going to be with you till 8 o'clock. Hacker Nation is here. He's going to be with you tonight from 8 until 10 as well. We're live from Top Dog right here on Old St. Augustine Road. We'll be with you tonight until 10 o'clock and conclude the second day of the NCAA tournament.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Like many football fans in Jacksonville, I love defense. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett, and I'm here to tell you that defense in the courtroom is important as well. That's because penalties for DUI are much more serious than penalties on the gridiron. If you or someone you know is facing a DUI, call us for a free case analysis now. Know before you blow 858-9818. Put my more than 20 years of experience to work for you. Office is Jacksonville, serving all surrounding counties. Call 858-9818 or go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com.
If your lawn took a beating this winter, listen up. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. They've just started the first of 3 rounds of premium granular fertilizer. No cheap liquid fertilizer here. Custom blended for Northeast Florida lawns. Their certified technicians apply slow-release nutrients. Rebuild your lawn thick, strong, and green over time. Plus, they protect your home from pests and termites. Call Julington Creek Pest Control today. Our family serving yours since 1984.
The Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach is better than ever. Come experience our new renovated spaces, including an expanded wellness center with upgraded state-of-the-art equipment, recovery solutions, brand new locker rooms, and the Horsell Center for Health and Well-Being, all designed to help you feel your best. And now you can join with no joining fee. Plus, enjoy your 4th month free. There's no place like this place. And you'll love what's new. Visit the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach.
Hoops action continues this Friday. Enjoy the madness with the shows of 1010XL. Watch the Friday games of the tournament and enjoy food and drink specials all day. Starting with Helmets and Heels, live from Big Dawg's Tavern on Blanding Boulevard. Then join the Frangie Show at Fourscore, a golf tavern on Gate Parkway from 4 to 6. Then finish the day with Into the Night with Rick Ballou and Hacker After Dark at Top Dog Tavern on Old St. Augustine Road. Now that's the way to celebrate hoops.
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting! 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
A lot of Jake Bobo hype going on here at the Dawg Tavern. Man, this place is a lot of fun. No doubt about it. What a great crowd it has been. 2 nights in a row, we have had sensational crowds as college basketball and, of course, the Gators trying to repeat. They're going to tip off tonight at 9:25. If everything does go as scheduled, it's 7:48. They're already at half in the Iowa-Clemson game. Of course, that is where Florida will play after that game, and they're at the halftime break, which is good. 7:48. If they can finish that, somewhere in the neighborhood of, I would say 8:45, 8:50, then maybe even up to 8 o'clock. Then the 9 o'clock. The 9:25 tip time should happen. All right. Before we bring in Hacker Nation, let me tell you what else is going on with the other 3 games. Right now, 11:50 to go in the first half. UCLA 18, UCF 12. 12:11 to go in the first half. Number 2, Purdue over number 15, Queens University, 17-12. And how about St. John's? 20-4 right now over Northern Iowa. 11:58 left in the first half. That is a number 5 against a number 12 team with Northern Iowa. Okay, I'm here till 8. Hacker Nation's going to join you 10. Let's say hello to Hacker.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Hacker is here. My goodness, last night I stayed around for 45 minutes or so. I left. UNC had a 19-point lead, got home, watched the end of the game. They blew it. Could not score in the final moments of that game. Could not score in overtime. What a colossal loss.
Yeah, terrible loss. You wonder what the future is for Hubert Davis in Chapel Hill. Certainly the natives cannot be happy there. And as far as today, I don't know if we're going to have a better game in the NCAA tournament than what we saw with Kentucky and Santa Clara. That's one of the best endings that I've ever seen in an NCAA tournament game. It was the first round, but you get Santa Clara drilling a 3 with 2.5 seconds to go, and then Atega Owe from, 40 feet to tie it at the buzzer. Absolutely astounding. And there's a big controversy now. I'm sure you've seen it. Herb Sindek, who, by the way, I had no idea was the coach of Santa Clara, the longtime NC State coach. You can see him clearly on video calling for a timeout. The ref did not acknowledge it. Kentucky inbounds the ball. Owe hits a 40-footer and sends it to overtime.
Ooh, yeah, no doubt. And, of course, he made the game-winning free throw as well. I know you're not a betting guy. Florida's favored by 35.5 tonight.
Yeah.
What do you do?
That's a lot of points, man. That's a lot of points. If it were me, and again, I'm not, really in that world, but I would not touch 35.5.
Thank you.
That's a lot of points.
Thank you. I mean, what if Florida wins tonight by 28? Very comfortable game. They rest starters, and you laid money on 35.5. It's going to take away your complete joy of getting game 1 of a 6-game run done on a Friday night where you win with ease, but you don't cover this monster number. I can't see betting on this.
No, 35. I mean, imagine, so Florida gets a big win, 98-63.
Yeah.
Advances to the second round, 35-point win. Then you stop and think, wait a minute. The hook got me, 98-63, and you would lose money. If you bet 35.5, I would stay away from it.
I wouldn't touch it with anyone's money, although the Philly Godfather did tell us last night that he's going to bet on Florida. He's going to lay all those points, and he thinks they're going to be able to get it done. A couple of things with the Jaguars today. DJ Chark calls it a career former Jaguar wide receiver. And I got to admit, I was a little surprised with the Jake Bobo offer sheet.
Yeah, I saw some podcasts coming out of Seattle, some people that cover the Seahawks. They don't think Seattle is going to match it. They think Jacksonville will ultimately get Jake Bobo. We will see. I guess the question there, Rick, is that simply a replacement, a younger replacement for Tim Patrick? Will he be the tall, big goal line receiver? And it would kind of kill two birds with one stone because Patrick isn't exactly a special teams guy where Bobo is. You need to replace a guy like Dewey Wingard on special teams. So Bobo is a good special teamer, and he could be that big target in the red zone to replace a Tim Patrick.
Yeah, and we'll see. Tim Patrick immediately came to mind. And again, I think it's just about bettering overall your roster. And Jake Bobo could do that. Caught a huge touchdown in the NFC Championship game victory over LAR, the Los Angeles Rams. All right, we have 4 games ongoing. You have that, plus tonight previewing both Miami and Florida. What else you got going on?
Yeah, certainly talking a lot of NCAA tournament out here at Top Dog Tavern. We'll certainly talk about the Jaguars as well. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 is going to join us coming up at about 8:20 tonight. Also, Ryan Fowler, one of my NFL draft analysts. He's been doing it for years. So a lot of football, but certainly a lot of NCAA tournament. Quickly, how's your bracket? I'm 19-5 through 24, and my Sweet 16 is intact, so I'm pretty happy right now.
You know, I was totally ripped apart yesterday with a 11-5, but I want to say I'm undefeated today.
Wow.
I think I'm 8-0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But, you know, I've had scares with Virginia.
Yeah.
And scares with Duke.
Well, you and I have Virginia in the Final Four, so my bracket life flashed before my eyes a little earlier, but they survived.
Yeah. All right, Hack, have a fun show.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us here. And, again, we're going to continue for another 2 hours up until 10 o'clock. So just keep it right here on 92.5 FM as well as 1010 on the AM side. All right, do want to thank everyone for making this work. Aaron Williams back in the studio. I'll be with Aaron Monday at 6 o'clock. Certainly RJ Saunders as well, engineering here live from Top Dog Tavern. Folks, have a great weekend. Have a sensational one. Enjoy all the games. Again, the next time that I talk with you will be Monday night at 6 o'clock right here on your home of the Jags.